Um. So yeah. I they did it. They did it. But my whole thing about it is that how shocked were you really? Now, again, I don't want to toot my own horn. I don't want to say I told you so, I did tell you so, and everything. But this is all about approach. That's is the name of this game, and I think the beauty about the Champions League and the whole two-legged thing and away goals, it's you're playing 180 minutes, so you have to have a 180-minute game plan. And I don't want to take anything away from Juventus by saying that Simeone's game plan for the second leg was trash. But it definitely contributed. But you cannot take away what was an amazing performance from Juventus. 100% Cristiano deserves the praise because he's proven why, I'm sorry, this guy is probably the greatest goal scorer the game has ever seen. Pele may have scored more goals. Messi may have scored all those goals and won all the Pachichas and everything. But why I say he's the greatest goal scorer is when you score. That's the key thing. It's when you score. The different kinds of goals that you score, but when you score. Because he's very similar to an Ibrahimovic, where left foot, right foot, aerial, tap-ins, long range, and so forth. But Ibrahimovic doesn't have the kind of clutch gene that Cristiano has. Cristiano, he definitely has a clutching of he doesn't shy away from the pressure, he relishes the pressure. So he deserves that, but we cannot look away from what was a great performance from Juventus. Because what has always been critical about this team is they don't really know how to attack. They don't really know how to go and get their goals and everything. But you have to give credit to what Allegri did, because Allegri had to make a huge decision. Paulo Dybala is supposed to be the next guy. He's supposed to be the guy that, he's not going to be the next Messi, but he's supposed to be the guy that once Messi leaves the Argentina setup, he's now the star of Argentina. There's no one else, unless I'm forgetting someone, there's no other Argentine who people will view as this is going to be the next guy. So you'd see that massive game, huge game. I remember, I think didn't Dybala score 2 goals when they played Barcelona in the first leg in the 2017 season? So you say, no, Dybala at home playing. Huge decision, and this is how managers make their money, when they make these big, bold decisions. To start with Bernardeschi ahead of Dybala, that was a massive decision. And it worked. Bernardeschi was the best player on that pitch. I've never really been a fan of his, because I remember seeing him back at Fiorentina and so far. I was like, yeah, this guy is technically pretty good, but I don't see the hype about this guy. But this was a game in which, for me, this has to be one of the best games he's ever played. You would argue it's the best game based on the magnitude of... No, it is the best game based on the magnitude. Champions League second leg, 2-0 down, you have to come up. Because every time he got hold of the ball, he made ground, he beat players, he created situations, and everything he did was positive. He was the guy that was really driving forward. Because that is very important in the climate of a game. Because how goals get created is, can you keep the opponents back to defending? Because the psychological warfare, and how you win the psychological warfare is that if you have an individual who you can't get the ball off of him, he's getting past guys, he is getting in good positions, good spaces, he's creating good situations for guys. Psychologically, that is tough for the opposing team to deal with. And they find it harder and they are less confident to go out and attack. And a player doing that, Bernardeschi doing that, it elevates the entire mood of the whole team. And you talk about the penalty. You say it's soft, any contact in the box, especially when you're away from home, you're going to get it. You're going to get it. And I think for Bernardeschi, that was a great solo run that he did, cutting in on the inside. He felt the contact. He fell in. It is what it is. This is top tier football. You can't say, oh, it was easy. This is what happens. So just talk about Atletico's approach. I said in my preview that Atletico need... Look, I'll talk about Giorgio. Relax, I'll talk about Giorgio. I said in my preview that Atletico, did you really think that you could hold Juventus to 1-0 for 90 minutes? I mean, surely, Simeone, you're one of the most experienced managers out there. Understand that you're a defensive genius. Did you really think that you could hold Juventus out for 90 minutes, knowing they have a Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, if they didn't have Cristiano and they had a guy, maybe that's a possibility. But knowing that you have a guy who is such a goal-scoring phenom, Juventus are under so much pressure. They're at home. You see, if this was, let's say Atletico won 2-0 in Turin, and the second leg was at Atletico's crib, I'd be like, okay, all right. I still wouldn't recommend it, but it would make more sense because, okay, you're at home, you know this ground well, you know this pitch well, your fans are behind you. All right, maybe you can do it, but not in Turin. And for Atletico, like, my main thing was you had to create a way in which how can we get a goal? We're going to come under pressure. How can we counter? How can we try and get that ball to Griezmann and Morata in good situations? And I think all that was happening were crosses from deep. They weren't getting to the byline. There were no through balls through the center. And you never saw a situation where Griezmann or Morata were inside the penalty area or were in very good, dangerous decisions where they could see the whites of the eyes of Szczesny so they can crack a shot. How many saves did Szczesny have to make? How many difficult saves did Szczesny have to make? I don't think there were many. And this now comes to the biggest critique of Simeone. As great as a manager that he is, he just doesn't have a great offensive plan. Because trust me, and this is what they always say, attack is the best form of defense. If Atletico really, from the get-go, attacked Juventus, threw men forward, that would actually, Juventus were like, whoa, what the hell? Because then, we have to defend, because you even know that if we consider we're screwed. If Atletico proactively looked to really get that goal, I think maybe they would have eventually got the goal. But as I said in my instant reaction, who scored the 2 goals for them in the first leg? How did those goals come? How did those goals come through? Those are how those goals come through. But look, man, we saw Giorgio. We saw Giorgio, because I think what Juventus have is, if everyone is fit, this is a team that can do it, because it's got all the elements. You've got Giorgio in defense, because Giorgio was like Morata didn't have a sniff. Like every single time Morata touched the ball, Giorgio was up in his grill, in his family, in his wife's mother, in his ancestry. Literally, Giorgio went back to Morata's ancestry to say, yo, what up? I'm sorry. I have nothing against your descendants, but I'm locking the key on homeboy. This guy is not getting a flipping sniff. It's Giorgio. Because you got Chiellini, which is, Chiellini is maybe tier 3. Giorgio is tier 1. Because we rarely see Giorgio. Whenever Giorgio comes, that's tier 1. Like Giorgio he's tier 1. He's tier 1. He's tier 1. But you see, when I just saw what Juventus did and everything, I'm like, see, this is a team that can win it, because you've got a solid defense marshaled by a pro in a Giorgio. Bernardeschi is now giving you something different, something that Dybala doesn't give. He's giving you a whole different kind of quality with the ball that Dybala does give you. So that's an option that you can have from a guy attacking from midfield. You obviously know what Pjanic can give you. We didn't even see what Alexandro could do in the game because he was so suspended. And you've still got the tag, because that's the thing about Mandzukic. He may not have scored, but it's almost similar to the Benzema thing. He's a presence. Because put it this way, if Mandzukic didn't play, and let's say they had Cristiano as a striker, Cristiano doesn't get those 2 goals. Because what Mandzukic does is that you have to be aware of him. He's there. So, but by you being aware of him, Cristiano can be like, all right, let me just sneak in behind. Because he's tall, he's a good target man, he's good in the air, you've got to be aware of him. So it increases the chance of Cristiano getting his G if you know that Godin and Jimenez have to worry about what Mandzukic is doing and his presence there. So Mandzukic being there is very important. It's very important. And of course, you've got the goal scoring prowess of a Cristiano. And the reason why I say those 2 goals are quality, amazing goals is you have to look at, because again, I mean, this guy, as far as, hang time. Who has the better hang time, him or Pele? Because perhaps one of the greatest headed goals we've seen of all time was 1970 World Cup final. Like, Pele was in the air for about 6, 7 hours, I think. So that is the greatest headed goal of all time. But I mean, what Cristiano is doing in the air is pretty phenomenal, because when you look at those goals, because it's about the hang time, the amount of power needed, and remember, really getting the accuracy for a headed goal is difficult. Anybody who has played football will know that. Yeah, it's easier to be more accurate with your feet than it is with your flipping head. Especially when the ball is coming quick, it's pretty hard. So to get the power, the direction, and the accuracy to beat a dude like Oblak, who is top 3, top 4 keepers in the world, that's huge. That is huge. So this was they're the favorites. At least one of the big favorites right now, because I think this is where the Champions League really begins. Now, like, when we now get into the quarterfinals, is now becoming big. Because you even know that, no, this is big time. They won it this year. This is the year that they won it. And I think for Cristiano, he knows that, look, man, this is why I was brought in here. And he knows it's going to be tough. But it's like, he's ready for the challenge. He's ready for the challenge. And the key thing is that they have the tools. I'm looking at it back to front. I'm looking at the bench. I'm looking at the manager. Because remember, throughout this whole tenure, let's just do the mathematics. Throughout the whole tenure of Juventus, they've been coming close. But see, they've just been missing that something. Just been missing that something. And in the 2017 final and the 2015 final, they didn't have that go-to guy. That's what you need. That go-to guy where, like, boom. Let's someone take us over the hill. So they've got everything. I told you, defense, midfield, wingers, wing backs, the manager who is a tactician, understands match management to make different changes within the match, is brave, can make brave changes. They've got all that. They're always missing who is the go-to guy. Higuain wasn't the go-to guy. Mandzukic isn't a go-to guy. They're good players, they're not go-to guys. So Cristiano, he's always been, a go-to guy. So, look, man, as I said again, I mean, the Champions League is shaping up to be very interesting, man. Because, I mean, like I say right now, man, I cannot wait to see what happens on Friday. Because, I mean, if Juve get Tottenham, boom, they're out of there. If they get Ajax, boom, they're out of there. I think for Juve shouldn't fear anyone, but I think Juve would want to avoid Man City. I'm not sure. I don't think that, because see, the difference with Man City is, and I think someone mentioned this on my video on the review. See, if Man City were in the same situation as Atletico, Man City are attacking. Man City, okay, fine, we are looking for a goal. Because their psychology is home or away, whatever the scoreline is, we are looking for a goal. Which is why, City, that would be a great game, but, I'm not sure whether Juve would want that Man City smoke. But again, as I've always said, but this is how Real Madrid won in 2018. To be the best, you've got to beat the best. And I think you've got to have the mindset of like, no, we're not here to avoid anyone. Bring on anybody. Whoever we have to beat to lift up that trophy, we'll beat them. So anybody you draw against us, we're going to beat them. We're going to beat whoever in the semi-final. I'm going to beat whoever is there in the final. Guys, it's big boy stuff now.
Thanks for watching the video. Now think about becoming a Football Hot patron by pledging an amount each month and then gain access to exclusive content only on the Football Hot Patron page. Peace.
Head over to the official site at halffootballhot.com or just click over here.